Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Total Hockey Now here on the Total Hockey Now YouTube channel. That over there all the way down to what we'll say is my right is at Fuzzy Chris 91, Christopher Merez, and in the middle there at Ant Rivera 86, aka Tony Rivers, Anthony Rivera. Get to his totals later for tonight's hockey slate here on a Thursday night, always jam-packed. And I'm glad we hit we were kind of doing the stream and the podcast before we went live. I'm like, oh, fellas, easy. Let's go live here. As Marek says, it's the best part of his week, thanks to having Marek with us here. So, in first place, but maybe didn't handle his waivers the way he wanted to.
No. I got a little ahead of myself. Maybe got a little too cocky this week. I tried planning everything out for the week, considering who I was going up against, looking at the stats, seeing everything. Oh, maybe I could take some categories here. And that plan right out the window. I only have one waiver move left, and I have to kind of save it at this point for the weekend. So we'll see how that ends up for me, but not a good start for the week for me in fantasy hockey.
It happens.
Sometimes when you're not used to being at the top, you get overwhelmed with that kind of stuff. So, but it's okay.
No Mets playoff run to throw them off for the first 6 weeks of the season, and then
That's true. That's true.
We are learning as we're doing here. That's the big thing with fantasy hockey for me. So we learn. We made the mistake. Thank goodness it's only week 3, week 4 right now. No, we're in week 3.
We are in week 3.
Week 3 of our fantasy hockey season. So there's a lot more to play around with, and I'm excited as we keep moving forward. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And later on the show, we will run through the 11-game NHL slate tonight, providing our picks. That at about 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. Of course, you can reach out to the show, totalhockeynow@gmail.com. First things I want to get to, a couple of quick headlines here. Earlier today, the Avalanche signed Marty Necas to an 8-year extension, $11.5 million annual average value, $60.4 million in signing bonuses. I'm not surprised to see this happen because you wouldn't go out and bring Necas. The whole intention of bringing Necas in was to fill the void of Rantanen long term, and now they have. So there you go.
I was told he didn't want to be there. So apparently we know nothing. But the first thing that popped into my mind was Mikko Rantanen. Because listen, I'm not going to take a single thing away from Martin Necas. He has earned that money. He is a great forward. I would take him on my team. But if you ask me, do I want Necas or Rantanen? 10 out of 10 times I'm taking Rantanen. There's no question about that. And it sounded like the deal was 8 years, somewhere in the $12.5 million range. Even if it was more than that, with the way the cap is going up, I kind of feel like, again, I'm not going to take a single thing away from Rantanen, from Necas, but I mean, why didn't you just give Mikko Rantanen that money and call it a day?
I don't know if Rantanen was going to take, so he gets $12 million annual in Dallas, correct? I think he was going to want more than that. I think, sometimes people talk about the concept of a hometown discount, and it's like, no, if I've built my career on what I've done for your team, I'd like you to pay for that and reward that. Like sometimes, and this is exactly what happened with the Sharks and Erik Karlsson. They go and acquire him at the deadline that year, helps him make a run, doesn't go as far as they want. They end up paying him for what he did in Ottawa. What ended up becoming of that contract? It just looked awful, and they had to get rid of it. So, yeah, it's easy to be like, well, $11.5 million, $12 million, but I don't think Rantanen would have stayed for $12 million. I think he would have said that, no, I'm going to stay here. I want to be paid what I did here. So, I mean, I can't imagine Nate just doesn't like Denver. Denver's a beautiful city. If you've never been, go.
The thing is now that he's in this system that's more offensive than Carolina is, can Necas close the gap on what Mikko Rantanen was, to McKinnon in that tag team? Can he take the next step and be that, second top guy like when it was McKinnon and Rantanen together?
So last year combined with Carolina and Colorado, 27 and 56 in the regular season. This year he's off to 7 goals, 6 assists in 11 games. So he's averaging over a point a game. So maybe it's not going to. I mean, maybe it will be the same goal total on a line with McKinnon. Maybe, that I don't know if he'll get to Rantanen's numbers, but I don't think he's going to put up a number. I don't think his season end number is going to be like, oh, what a letdown on the right wing for Colorado. It's going to be, the difference is going to be negligible.
If
Yeah,
he's a 90-point player, that's great, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's not spit on 90 points against nothing. I know Mikko Rantanen can, top 100 and everything and all the other things that he does, big body and whatnot. But I mean, I guess for Necas, this is a good spot for him. Let's not get it twisted. I could get one secondary assist playing with Nathan McKinnon. I could.
I feel confident.
And Necas really loses no ground here, right? I mean, he went from a team that goes to the conference finals almost constantly now to another team that has that same potential and maybe can get to the Stanley Cup when you talk about the Colorado Avalanche. So he was in a good system, now into an even better one offensively to tailor to his needs. Maybe this contract works out both ways. It works out for the team as well as the player.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to end up being happy here. And maybe it would have taken $13 million to keep Rantanen. They save $1.5 million. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to get as many players as you can in, sometimes that can make a difference. Let's see. Marek was asking, who do we think's a better player? I think it's Rantanen's a better player, but I think you're not really missing a beat with Necas in there. Like, you're still going to get a high level of production there. So maybe not, like we said, as much. Still probably about 90 points. Other guy that signs an 8-year extension this week, Thomas Harley in Dallas on their blue line, about $10.5 million average annual value, full no movement clause. So they're committing to him being a part of that, their runs for the next 5 or so years here, at least, being a significant part of that team. I don't mind that. I think they're getting ahead of the market. Thomas Harley, from a fantasy perspective and from an on the ice perspective, broke out last year. Good campaign. Let's get him in under 11 million before, defenseman contracts start going up even more. Smart move by Dallas.
Yeah, he's had a good 2 years, pretty consistent, right? 47 points in 2023, 2024, 2025, 50 points. So he continues to get better and better. And this is a guy that is going to continue to climb the rankings, even in fantasy. I mean, he was one of the most talked about defensemen out there when you talk about Cale Makar and Rasmus Dahlin. If you don't get those guys and they go, Quinn Hughes, another one, you don't get any of those three guys there, you get Thomas Harley and you're really not losing a beat when it comes to defense.
Yeah, I think they paid, a fair market for what it was. They decided to get ahead of it. It seems like a lot, but in today's world, it's not about the dollar figure. It's about the percentage to the cap. And as long as the cap continues to go up, players will make more money. But Harley decides to take his money, run with it. It's at a no state tax as well. So that's why Dallas is good. No other reason, apparently. But he gets the full no movement clause as well. He gets to kind of decide his future. He gets a ton of security there, because 3 years ago, we were not talking about Thomas Harley at all. And then he goes to the Four Nations, steps in, huge role there with Josh Morrissey out. And he's been buzzing ever since.
And if you're curious, Heiskanen is signed through 2028 at just under $8.5 million. So those are your anchors of the blue line right there for sure. Asa Lindell up at the end of the year. Excuse me. No, he's got till 2029. But yeah. So, I mean, they've got their blue line set. They've got their top pairing. They've got their guys set. Now, we want to talk about a few of the, before we get to our picks in about 15 minutes here, we want to talk about some teams that are off to strong starts. Now, we talked about doing hot and cold starts. Want to give those teams off to a cold start. Another week has nothing to do with the Rangers, as alluded to on Twitter or directly suggested on Twitter. I don't know how to evaluate. It's just, I don't think they know what they are right now. So we'll do teams that are maybe cold starts that maybe you have to be worried about. Today we'll focus on teams that are hot starts and whether they can, surprising hot starts, whether they can sustain them or not. Detroit Red Wings, 7-3-0 out of the gate this year, a team that pretty much all of us had pegged to finish in the bottom of the division. Here they are, 7-3, sitting atop the Atlantic. How do we feel? I mean, it's easy. They're in Los Angeles tonight. We'll get to that game later. It's easy to be like, oh, yeah, the Red Wings are going to come back down to earth, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Maybe they'll come back down to earth, but I don't know if they're going to come all the way back to the bottom of the division. I don't know about that.
I don't think they come down to the bottom of the division like you said, but the Red Wings are they're certified frauds. They are certified frauds. At 5-on-5, they cannot generate offense. It doesn't work. They are not a good 5-on-5 team. They are being bailed out by every other possibility. Their blue line is not great, but it is performing well. I mean, Dylan Larkin, I don't know what he ate this summer, but I mean, the puck just finds the back of the net. He is shooting a ridiculous. His shooting percentage, I think, is close to 30. Like he cannot continue to hit that level. Like there's regression that's coming, and how hard is it going to hit? John Gibson has not been good, well documented, and I mean, I don't know how much you want to trust
like Cam Talbot. Yeah.
Right. And then there's Cam Talbot and his whole body situation. He's not exactly young. So I feel like this team is just one injury away or one regression away from being mid. And when they lose, they get smashed. It's not close.
By the way, Cam Talbot versus Darcy Kemper in Los Angeles tonight, the goalie matchup there. That's it. That's the nightcap. That's the late game. That's the 10:30 Eastern.
That's what I'm falling asleep to.
Yeah, in this division here, this Atlantic division, they're in second right now, 14 points, just 2 behind Chris's Montreal Canadiens. But I got to agree. I think they fall back down to earth because you look at the other teams in that division. You got the Stanley Cup, back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Panthers. I see them coming back. I don't know what's going on with the Maple Leafs. I mean, you could say whatever you want about them in the postseason, but they have done what they needed to do to get there every single year. You also got the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are off to a hard start too. So I think these teams get themselves back going, and if the Red Wings are going to stay in this, they're going to need better goaltending than they've gotten from Talbot and Gibson, who got sent away from Anaheim. Dylan Larkin, who leads the charge here, he's a guy that we talked about in fantasy, where the center position is so deep that if you miss some of these top guys, you get a Dylan Larkin there, or you get a Nico Hischier, and you're pretty good. You're pretty good with what you got going. And I don't know if he can keep up the pace, but he is definitely one of the leaders of this team and has done very well along with Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, back down to earth, but maybe not all the way to the bottom of the division. But you're
Maybe
also
to the end, right? Maybe they're towards that last spot, fighting for that final spot in the playoffs.
There's not really a ton of reason for me to think John Gibson's all of a sudden gonna be healthy, get right, all that good stuff, and be viable for them. And I can't imagine Cam Talbot's gonna play this way the entire season. I mean, what is he, 3-1, just under a 3 goals against right now? So I don't know how long that's going to last. So yeah, I'm not buying the Red Wings being a team that will be talking about atop the Atlantic Division later. Now I misspoke. I said they are atop the Atlantic. Oh no, the Montreal Canadiens are the team atop the Atlantic Division with one more victory, 8-3-0. This one I feel like is more sustainable. And yes, I know Dobes isn't going to play this way the entire year, but while Montembeault is getting his stuff figured out, Dobes is carrying the load. You have to figure that pendulum's going to swing back the other way a little bit, and Montembeault will be out there playing the way he was the stretches last year. They've got a good mix in Montreal. The Dobson addition to the blue line has been huge for them. I'll let Chris talk more about the Canadiens. I don't know if I'm buying them as Atlantic Division champs yet, but top 3 team, maybe having home ice in the first round, sure.
Right. So finishing at the top of the Atlantic would be like that would, even for me, I would think that's a lot. But like you said, Dobes is playing out of his mind. The Mattress King just continues to find ways to do it for his team. He's there. And the Montreal Canadiens are getting production. Their top line is elite. That line of Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slafkovsky are built different. Marty St. Louis has finally given Ivan Demidov top power play unit minutes, and all of a sudden that power play starting to move different. And again, not that Zachary Bolduc has not been good, because that is the exact opposite. But Ivan Demidov is moving differently. He glides out there. Everything is so crisp. Everything is so fluid. Like you said, the addition of Noah Dobson, maybe all the points aren't there just yet, but he's helped move the chair for other defensemen to be where they need to be. So Mike Matheson all of a sudden looks better when last year they were ready to run him out of town, right? You don't have to worry about Arbor Jacki and, Jaden Struble and how much they're playing. You can kind of shelter. That top four is good. Lane Hudson's doing what he needs to do. There's a lot of pieces that are in place here that are working. And even the pieces that are not just yet, the Kirby Doc is still like trying to find his game. Patrick Laine is hurt again. Caden Gooley's out, but all of that doesn't matter because the depth is there and the team is starting to look like what we envisioned it would be a few years ago. So I don't know if they finish at the top, but do I think they can finish in the top 3 of the Atlantic? Yes. Do I think they can have home ice advantage? Yes.
I definitely think this is a playoff team. Dobish has 6 of the 8 victories that this team has so far with a .930 save percentage. What I love about this Montreal team is they are so freaking young and so talented. Look at the top scorers here. Nick Suzuki, 16 points. Cole Caulfield, 13. Lane Hudson, 10. Demidov, 9. I mean, you could want to throw Noah Dobson in there as well, 7. I mean, this team is stacked right now. And the good thing, not only for the Montreal Canadiens, but the fans and all that, is that this has the makings of a long, nice run for this team. Maybe they don't make it so far into the playoffs, but I think they are for sure a playoff team and a lot of fun to watch, man. You got to want to watch this team play out there in Montreal, and I'm definitely enjoying it.
Eric wants to know, are we going to see Fowler if Monty doesn't figure it out? I think they're going to give Monty a real long – if there's no reason to really go down that path as long as Dobis keeps playing this way anyway.
It's too early still.
Yeah.
Even even if you bring Fowler up, right, you can't send Montembeault down because he'd have to clear waivers. You can do it with Dobis, but that would penalize him for absolutely no reason. And
he might riot at Montreal.
Right. And you do not want to carry 3 goalies, right? We've been here, done that kind of thing. We're not going back. That was not a fun experience. No one had fun. So let Fowler cook in the AHL. He pitched a shutout yesterday for Laval. It was great. He's got roughed up a little bit, but it's fine. He was playing college hockey last year. Let him get used to playing with men. Let him go through the process. He's a young goalie. And again, I do not believe that Montembeault has forgotten how to play hockey. Like, it's not there. It's trusting your stuff. I think a lot of it is between his ears right now. And it's just trying to say, hey, man, at one point, those bad lucks are going to turn. And at one point, once you start to find your confidence, nothing gets by you after that. But, work on it. Take the time. You don't have to be that guy either. It takes a little bit of pressure off, right? You don't have to worry about, when you struggle, the whole team falls apart, because that's not it anymore. So he can go through the process, do whatever he needs to do. I don't know. Go get a massage, man. Take it easy.
Let's be honest. Montembeault just has to look around the league, and there's not been great goaltending around the league to start the season. So I don't think he has anything to worry about. I think it helps that Dobish is playing so well to kind of alleviate the pressure, because I'm pretty sure Montembeault started thinking when the season was going to begin that he was going to be the starter and have to carry the load for this team. And he doesn't have to do that right now. Just get yourself going. As soon as you do that, then I'm pretty sure they're going to split this somehow, keep you guys fresh for a playoff run. Nothing to worry about.
Not to look too far ahead, but Canada literally has no goalie for the Olympics. There's not like say what you want about Jordan Binnington. It has not been good to start. Aiden Hill is hurt, and Sam Montembeault hasn't found it yet. So somebody's got to figure it out by the time we get to Italy, because Canada needs a goalie.
We'll do some Olympic roster stuff as we get closer here to the end of the year and roster reveals and all that. A couple more teams I want to get to before we get to tonight's preview in terms of teams that surprising teams off to really, really strong starts. And this kind of, I know Chris was hypothesizing Sidney Crosby being an excellent trade deadline acquisition to be one of those top 2 centers, because let's face it, if Montreal is going to try and make a deep run, they do need to add another center. The Penguins are 7-2-2 out of the gate. I mean, they might be adding at the deadline, maybe not to a crazy extent, but if this team is still playing like this in 3-4 months, you might probably owe it to them to maybe do something. I think this is more sustainable than the Red Wings, another team we expected to probably be at the bottom of their division. And here we go again, Sidney Crosby dragging this team to just new heights every time. Just when you think like, oh, they're done, this is the year they're going to bottom out. Oh, no. 7-2-2.
And
You
Jimmy
know,
Malkin is 39.
yeah.
Just
That's not going to last.
He's
He's
top
gotta get
5
hurt.
in the NHL in points. You're like, okay, man, what are you drinking? What have you have you been hanging out with Ovi in the offseason? What's he giving you over there? Listen, I can't buy into this. This team there's still too many holes. They're one injury away from it falling apart. Tristan Jarry apparently is good again. So we're going down that path a little bit. I want to believe it, but a part of me also wants them to fall apart so Sid can be like, okay, I'll leave.
I don't know if we'll ever get to that point, but we'll see.
No, may not.
Pittsburgh comes back to the same two players, Malkin and Crosby, top of the leaderboards in points. Justin Brazeau as well, and Anthony Mantha, Eric Carlson up there. So a lot of the old guard is leading this team, but most importantly is the goaltending right now. Silvos and Jarry, respectively, .919 save percentage as well as .916. So they're doing their part in keeping this team in games and giving them enough will to find ways to win. And Pittsburgh right now sits at top of the Metro along with the Devils.
So I'll say this. I think the stretch of games they got coming up that started with the road trip in Philadelphia the other night continues in Minnesota tonight. We'll give our thoughts in that game. At Winnipeg, at Toronto, home for the Capitals, then at the Devils and home for the Kings before they head to Europe to play the Predators. A 2-game set over there. I think that stretch leading into that Europe trip, that's a lot of quality teams right there. I know the Leafs aren't playing great. Maybe not the Wild aren't playing that great, but everybody else playing at least solid, if not better. That'll be a true test as they, if they come through that, with a decent amount of points, I'll be ready to be like, all right, maybe we need to take this more seriously. Maybe they're a team that's closer to the wild card picture than we expected come March. But yeah, just like Detroit, there's a lot of things that are going real right for them right now, including Malkin playing at a fantastic level. But again, he gets hurt, so it's going to come at some point.
Just take care of business in this stretch against a struggling Minnesota team, a struggling Toronto team. That's 2 out of 3 wins because Winnipeg is going to be tough. You got Washington as well. That's another tough team, New Jersey. And then if they can finish, 3-3 on these games, I think that's good for Pittsburgh.
And if Washington starts Charlie Lindgren, they got a great shot of beating him too.
7 goals this guy gives up. I had to decide whether I was going to play Dustin Wolf or not on Sunday because Charlie Lindgren decided to ruin my entire save percentage and all the goals. And 7 goals in a game. 7.
Yeah, man,
I don't know if that's worse or Markstrom is worse. Like he gave up 8 goals. It's like, pull the guy already.
Yeah, sometimes they just leave the guy out there and it's like, unless we're trying to rest somebody for a back-to-back or something like that, like what's happening here? Before we get to the Mammoth, just wanted to mention the Kraken. I thought that, they started off a little bit stronger, getting points. What was it, 5 or 6 straight? They've come back down to earth a little bit, and I think we're already seeing the regression and the Kraken falling to their proper spot in the standings. But hey, when you get points in your first 5 games, it's worth mentioning, even if you have only won 2 since then. But the Utah Mammoth, a team that we thought was going to be battling Minnesota and St. Louis for those last couple of playoff spots, either in the wild card or in the Central Division, maybe. And it's amazing what happens when you have ownership that invests in the team. Starting to see they have an identity now. They're not the Utah Hockey Club; they're the Mammoth. Tusky, the mascot, which I like. I know it's probably a little obvious, but nonetheless, I like the name. There's a lot of Utah's got a strong blue line. The top lines are producing. Logan Cooley gets his extension, well deserved. If Vemelka holds up, and they seem to have a lot of confidence in Vemelka because they went out and got Vanacek as the backup, and that's fine. But that to me tells me you're playing Vemelka 2 out of every 3 at a minimum. So it's a tough division, but with the way St. Louis is playing, with the way Minnesota is playing, maybe this is the 4th best team in the division.
Yeah.
Vejmelka's still giving up a lot of goals. He's got 891 save percentage right now to start the season. He's gotten most of the starts. Vanacek's been a little bit better than he has. But, I mean, I feel like everyone has bought into Utah. The ownership, front office, the fan base, the players, everyone has bought into the Utah Mammoth. I know it's a good start so far, but you got players here. You mentioned them, Adam, all the players. And how about Nick Schmaltz? And already 17 points he's had. I know he goes on his hot streaks, but we're talking about a guy on a contract year. This could be a big year for Nick Schmaltz. So they're looking good. They're my West Coast team, so I'm happy to see them play well. Sergachev has had a good season to start. I mean, this is a team that could make some noise in what I always find as the toughest division, with the Avalanche, the Jets, the Stars. Look at the Blackhawks off to the start that they've gotten on. The Wild are going to have to make up a lot of ground if they're going to be players in this, because this is going to be a tough division with all those teams, including the Mammoth.
Yeah.
You mentioned Nick Schmaltz. I don't think he keeps that production up, but the fact that you've got about 9 guys that are producing 4 or 5 points or better, it's a balanced scoring attack, which is nice.
And that's exactly it. Like the first part is ownership. Now you have an owner who says, "Hey, man, if you need a check, I'll cut it." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you sleep better at night. You know where you're playing. You don't have to worry about, in 3 years, will we be playing in a college rink? Will we have a home? It takes all that off. And yes, the fans get to buy into it, but also, like, listen, I'll pour one out here for Arizona Coyote fans. They had to crawl and go through all this so the Mammoth could run, because this team was young. We knew that. And all that young talent is starting to hit at the same time. All of it is starting to get there. Like Gunther's starting to figure out, yes, Schmaltz did a contract year, but I mean, players perform in contracts years. This isn't new to us. They go out, they get Peterka. He's fit in absolutely nicely as well. This whole roster is starting to get deep. And when you have deep rosters, it makes it a challenge for opposing teams, because you got to watch somebody. And if you let the big boys run, they will terrorize you, right? And it speaks of the fact that they're 8-3, despite Vejmelka not being where he needs to be just yet. So if he can figure it out, that blue line is okay. They're probably going to need to go out and get a piece or two at the deadline, but at least you're in a position to say, hey, we can do this. Now we can spend money. We have an owner who is willing to go closer to the ceiling. We're not going out and getting those LTIRs. We're no longer facilitating trades. We want to be in that mix. So I want to see them go a little bit, because, again, they do play in the toughest division in sports. So as this goes on, those games in March are going to be a lot tougher than they are today. And playing teams over and over again, even though the Wild are bad, but, Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, having to play those guys is something.
I feel bad for the Arizona fans, but let's be honest, they are not playing this way if they're still in Arizona, in a college hockey rink with the least amount of amenities possible for the players. They are not as fun as they are right now in Utah. So it's kind of like how the end of what happened in Quebec when they go to Colorado, and then Colorado goes off to become a Stanley Cup. I'm not saying that this is going to happen in Utah so quickly, but at a certain point, you leave an area that's just not taking care of their players, and the ownership's not doing what it needs to do to make this a winning team, to now a place where everyone has bought in on what Utah is doing, whether it's the record or not. The fan base has bought in on this team, and the players are showing them what needs to be done.
Oh, it's not even apples to oranges. It's like apples to hot dogs in terms of like how this would be going if they were still in Arizona. Yeah. They would not have acquired Sergachev. They would not have acquired Peterka. Maybe Cooley or Keller or somebody gets dealt. So yeah, it never would have gone this way in Arizona. Last thing I want to get to quick before we get to our Thursday night puckin' preview. Cody checking in, our boy over here. Has Dobas already replaced Montembeault? I asked last week about when to drop a starter for a surging backup, and now Dobas seems to be gone in most of his leagues. Yeah, it's sometimes that happens, but I don't think the door is closed on Montembeault. And again, Dobas is not going to play this way into December, January, February. He's going to come back down to earth too. And how far he comes back down the earth will dictate the opportunities for Montembeault. Maybe Montembeault gets going when the door opens for him again, and then Dobes isn't the start. So, I mean, it goes both ways.
And you can't, I don't remember who Craig said his goalies were, but like you can't give up on your established goalies this early in the season. Sometimes some guys are just good. Like some team is going to be gifted with one of these players. Maybe Dobish is the guy. Who knows if this lasts as long? I mean, Chris hopes for it, right? And we hope to see him continue to play well, but he has not played in the league as long as some of these other goalies that you may have drafted. Maybe if he was your third goalie, like he wasn't even someone's third goalie at the time. Like he was still on the waiver wire for the start of this season. So that, if you get him, it's great that you have him now. But if you didn't get him, I wouldn't get too upset about it right now. You just have to play it the waiver wire the way that you can. Just don't give up on your entire team at the beginning so far.
Also, overall goalie play has just not been
awful
stuff. And like you look at he was going to me, Montembeault was going like, all right, if I didn't get like Binnington, like that was the next guy. Yeah. And then you start to get into that Vamelka, like those guys. So like none of those guys are performing great. So
no, look at for me, Dustin Wolf, a great example in Calgary. They're not getting any wins there, but my hope was, and I went into it kind of having a feeling that they weren't going to win as many games. Maybe Dustin Wolf leads them to certain wins, but I was hoping that the rest of his stats would carry, and the team in front of him still isn't playing well, and he's still giving up goals. Like he was doing so much against Toronto, and they did not help him out. So it just, sometimes you just get the hand that you're dealt with.
Listen, I would love to tell you to drop Montembeault and pick up Dobes, right? But the fact of the matter is that it's not going to be like that. Montembeault's going to get the opportunity to fix his stuff. So maybe like this seems more like for Craig of more like the FOMO, which is fair because now if he's already scooped up, you're like, damn, I missed that boat. But having said that, if I was a Dobes owner today, I'm trying to move him. I'm trying to move him to get a piece. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to buy him now, you're paying a premium for a guy who is going to balance out. It's just the way the world works. He is outperforming every metric. He is standing on his head most nights. So I like the only comfort I can give you here is because I also don't have Dobes in any spots, but I understand how it is tough, especially when your goaltending is struggling. Then you got to, dig deeper and try to find guys in good situations or try to target goalies that are struggling and see if you could get somebody else to bite. Maybe you flop, goalies. Listen, I also own all market a couple of leagues. I get Binnington is terrible. I don't know what to do with Cyrus anymore. I mean, he's supposed to be good. He's not, but it's tough. I know. But if you drop one of those guys and they go off, you'll feel even worse because now you're behind the 8 ball and you put yourself even farther of it. So,
and every guy that you mentioned from Craig's list here that he has all have track records of being good at some point, whether it's in the past or whatever. Dobes doesn't have that just yet. And 3 weeks into the season, like I don't know. If you got him, great. You got lucky there. Like Chris says, you are flipping him as soon as possible and getting the most value that you can for him. So you're not even keeping him if you got him. You're going to trade him if you can.
All right. Ant mentioned Dustin Wolf. He's not starting tonight in Calgary for the Flames as they take on the Ottawa Senators. Let's not waste any more time and get right to our pick. All right. 11 games on the board tonight. We'll go in order of the way the goalies are starting goalies are posted here. Devin Cooley at Ottawa tonight, facing Linus Ullmark and the Ottawa Senators. If you're looking to place a wager on that game, the Senators minus 175 on the money line, Calgary plus 145. Your total is 6.5. Looking at this game, I got nothing to play here out of this one. Nothing appealing to me. Neither team. Both teams are just messes right now. Ottawa's so up and down, inconsistent. Calgary can't score.
Yeah.
Nothing, not touching this one with a 10 football.
Yep. It always goes back to my fantasy team for me. I got Nazem Kadri as well as Dustin Wolf, and I've been watching as many Calgary games as possible, which is kind of hard these days, considering how bad they've been. Them and the Senators, like, you are definitely, fighting with fire if you're betting on this matchup here, because I really don't know what lean in that you could possibly get into with these two teams. I can't.
I will touch this.
Oh, wow.
With my bare hand.
Oh, baby.
It's the over, of course.
All
It's
right.
the over. These are two absolutely terrible teams. They're terrible. So the good news is goaltending will be figured out because Linus Ullmark can't stop a beach ball. I'm not buying Cooley's one decent start. Not buying that. I know the Flames can score, but every once in a while, sometimes they do. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure, didn't Calgary light up Igor or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he did, right?
You
So
don't have to go there.
I know, but I'm saying, listen, if they can light up Shesterkin, I know. Listen,
they scored against Toronto too in their last matchup.
Yeah, so you know what? They can score against the Senators. The Senators have been red hot too. They can score. The Senators have scored 7 goals in a game, twice now? The problem is they can't keep it out of the net. They are fun. They are a coach's worst nightmare, but they are fun. So I'll take the over. It probably could get it a plus money too. Listen, you're asking for 7 goals between two terrible teams. Easy.
Over 6.5 plus 114 over at DraftKings right now. Can we find a better number than that? No, plus 115 at ESPN Bet. So there you go. Those are going to be your two best spots if you want to take Chris's advice and play the over there. He does make a very strong argument there. So I'm leaning that way a little bit now. Stars at Lightning, 7:00. Tyler Seguin's 1,000th career game. Kudos to him. He'll get his silver stick either before the game tonight or at the next game or whatever. I don't know if they'll do it on the road, but he will get his silver stick. You got Attinger versus Andrei Vasilevsky here. You're looking to bet either of these teams on the money line. Tampa Bay, home favorite, minus 155. Dallas, plus 130 on the money line. Total for this game is 5.5. For me, it did open at 6.5, but I would still take this under at 5.5. It's at 6 in some places now. You look at what Dallas has done in their recent games. They're not scoring, just not putting the puck in the net. They haven't scored more than 3 goals in a game since October 14th, win or loss. For Tampa Bay, outside of the Anaheim and Nashville games, they've been a low-scoring team. Maybe their offense has finally gotten going against those two teams. We talked about Saros not being a good goaltender, but I'm not ready to buy in that the Tampa Bay Lightning's offense is at full bore yet. I think you can get a close matchup. Dallas will play it similarly to the way they played the Capitals the other night, which was also a very low-scoring game. So, yeah, give me the under here.
I'm with you there. I'm taking the under as well, under 6.5 for this game. Something's not right with Tampa. Just like overall, Vasilevsky's not right. Braden Point, I can't get points out of him in my fantasy team. And then when it comes to the Stars, I had Logan Thompson in net. Loses a 1-0 shutout thanks to Jake Ottinger. So I do feel like this is going to be a low-scoring game, and because of that, they're probably going to score more goals, right? Like that's how it works out.
Yeah, I mean that's because Chris predicted a high-scoring affair in the Canadian capital tonight. It's going to be like a 1-0 with 5 minutes to go in the third.
What did we call it in our text chain? The Chris of Death.
The Chris of Death. Yeah, the Chris of Death.
Yeah, listen, that's
becoming a thing.
My record supports it. I am not touching this game. Like you said, Tampa Bay is just an absolute mess. The Stars are without Rupe Hintz. They're already without Duchesne. Sam Steele's on the wing. Tyler Seguin on the top line. I don't know. I don't want any of that. I don't want nothing to do with that.
All right. So far we got a game where Chris has touching a game, playing it, where Ant and I aren't doing anything. Now vice versa. We go to Predators Flyers here. 7:00 puck drop for this one. Looking at the goaltending matchup here, it's going to be UC Saros. Unconfirmed yet, but likely, and Dan Vladar going for the Flyers here. I've got no play in this one. Philly it was a good win against Pittsburgh the other night, but the only thing maybe I would consider here is the under. Looking at that total here, if you want to play that, it's 5.5 at even money. On the money line, the Predators plus 130, the Flyers minus 155 favorites at home. That would be my only lean here is maybe the under because neither team is great at scoring, but I'm not playing this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm staying away.
I don't need to care about this one.
All right. So if you were looking for anything there, sorry we couldn't provide anything for you there.
If you are a Predators or a Flyers fan, sorry you made it this far with nothing.
Sorry. Like I said, I'll lean under. That's all I got. Sabres Bruins here. Alex Lyon and Eunice Corpusalo, the two guys going in net tonight. Looking on the money line. Buffalo favored on the road at DraftKings right now, -122. The Bruins at +102. For this one, I've got no lean on this one or anything to go with here. Chris, what do you got? Anything?
The bad Bruins versus the bad Sabres? No. I will not be taking the Sabres as a favorite ever, because that is a road I will not travel, and that means I have to trust Corpusalo. No, we're not doing that either. I want nothing to do with this game. I hope it finishes 6-5 though, for fantasy related reasons. But if you're asking me to pick somebody who's going to win, no idea.
Everything that Chris said about the Flames Senators game, you could just copy and paste that to this one, because both teams stink. And I'm taking the over 6.5 here on goals. These two teams are just not good. I mean, the Bruins are awful. Sabres have kind of, evened themselves out after a horrific start, but they're just nothing. So I'll take the over 6.5 that these guys beat the crap out of each other.
All right, I like it. A little old-fashioned Northeast rivalry there. Again, so far we've got, except for Predators Flyers, we've given you something for every game here. So thank you for watching here on Total Hockey Now here on our YouTube channel. We do this every Thursday. First half hour or so is fantasy or storylines or headlines or things like that, and then we run the board 5:30, 5:40 p.m. Eastern and go all the way through. So we're through all the 7 o'clock Eastern puck drops. We do have a staggered one at 7:30. Thanks to it being the ESPN Plus Hulu game. Islanders at the Hurricanes, 7:30 Eastern puck drop. David Riddick going for the Islanders. Brandon Bussey going for the Carolina Hurricanes there. He's been given a chance with Kochetkov hurt there, and Freddie Anderson being as fragile as he is. It looks, I know we call him Red Light Riddick, but he's 2-0, 939 save percentage right now, 2.0 goals against. Ilya Sorokin not been off to the best of starts here, so maybe they lean on Riddick a little bit. For this one, I think, the Islanders have been fun to watch. They've been playing all right. Matthew Schaefer has been played very well out of the gate. I don't trust Riddick to have another strong performance against a team like the Hurricanes here. So I'm going to take the Hurricanes on the puck line because the regulation victory is already too juiced at -150. But grabbing the Hurricanes on the puck line here, why not? Of course, DraftKings takes everything off the board at that exact moment. As I'm about to say what that is currently for the Hurricanes, -1.5 puck +114 at DraftKings. I'll take that at plus money.
Looking at the schedule for the Islanders, 7 goals, 6, 7,
Yes.
6, 9, 7, 9, 7, 7. I'm taking the over 6.5 here. I think the Hurricanes are going to go wild here, and the Islanders will probably score a couple of goals. So I'll take the over 6.5. I have no problem doing that with this matchup.
I will meet you guys somewhere in the middle there. I do believe that there will be goals that will be scored here. No Matthew Barzal tonight because he could not get to the rink on time, apparently, for practice yesterday. That downtown traffic in New York, apparently, even for
there's no downtown traffic. He's in Long Island. They don't even have to deal with Brooklyn for the rink. So I don't know.
I have no
LIE,
concept.
Southern State Parkway. I don't know.
No idea. Maybe he slept in at that point. Man, blame your wife for not waking you up. I will take the Hurricanes, but in regulation. It's not as juiced. It's close enough where I think it's fine. I just don't trust the Islanders to score, and I don't trust David Riddick to continue the pace that he's on. It just doesn't sound like something he was going to do. The Islanders are going to get some help. It sounds like Romanov's going to be back in the lineup, but I mean, that's still a pretty thin forward group. Their defensive group is still not the best. The Hurricanes are just a better team overall, so I need them to take care of business within the 60-minute window.
So Riddick played against the Red Wings and the Oilers this year and gave up 2 goals in each one. So, maybe he's got a little something going, but I'm not ready to buy into him yet. So I'll take the puck line Yeah, I think Carolina's just gonna. I think they're gonna light them up for sure. As the resident Florida Panther fan is about to come on the screen over here for me as the Cats jumped up. We go to the 8:00 Eastern puck drops here. Penguins at Wild, getting the start and net for that game. It's going to be Tristan Jarry against Philip Gustafson here. Tristan Jarry, as Chris alluded to earlier, somehow, some way, 4-1, 2.62 goals against, 917 save percentage, and a shutout. Philip Gustafson, numbers not looking as good on his end. Good thing I took him as my top goalie. 2-5-1, 3.41 goals against, 890 save percentage. Does have a shutout there, though. You're looking to grab the either side on the money line. Penguins are +105, and then the Wild are -175. So heavy home favorites for an inconsistent team. Versus a Penguins team that's been surprising out of the gate here. Total there is 6.5. I mean, and ICI in this one because I could see the doc. We're both all over the over this. This +100. Both teams can put the puck in the net. You know, Gustafson had trouble stopping it. I know we just put out the numbers for Tristan Jarry, but do you really buy that? You know, going against a lineup that has Kaprizov, Marco Rossi, and Joel Eriksson Ek, and Matt Boldy. So, yeah, I'm all over the over on this one. It's one of my favorite plays of the night.
Yeah, the over is 6.5. I love it. I'm taking it. Gustafson fooled me once in one of my fantasy leagues. Wasn't going to allow it to happen again. He struggled to start the season. Then when he got the goaltending out in Pittsburgh, I mean, you're looking at giving up, at least 3 goals a game. That's what's been for the most of the season. They're either scoring 3 or more goals or giving up 3 or more goals. So, especially with the Wild and the talent that's out there for that offense, I think we're going to have a high scoring game here. So I'll take the 6.5 over.
I'll make it a consensus. We finally agreed on something. We finally got there.
2-1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Tristan Jarry's listening right now. He's popping a shutout. The Wild are very consistent, but they're consistent at being inconsistent. And they're fun to watch because the Wild have like one of the best power plays and the worst penalty kills. So it's just all over the place. It's absolute chaos. And I love it. They've moved. Listen, from a Zambuyan fan, they've moved him off the top unit. Brock Faber's gone back to the unit. All of a sudden, apparently, he's good again. So I'm just here for the chaos. That's what it is. I think 6.5 is fine. I would have felt even better if it was 6. But if you give me 6.5 and you get a little bit, and you get at even money, I'll take it from there. I expect maximum chaos between these two teams. Maximum.
I think that. Like we said, we're all very confident in this one, so it's going to be a 2-1 victory one way or the other. I really think this is the way the scoring. Yeah. There's been a lot of scoring in the NHL out of the gate this year, and this has a feeling of like one of those 6-5 kind of affairs.
Yeah.
So see how that goes. Another game in the 8:00 window of the 5:00 Pacific window. The Blackhawks are at the Jets. The Chicago Blackhawks likely going to roll Spencer Knight. Connor Hellebuck going to go for the Jets. He's got a 5-3-0 record, 2.25 goals against, 9.26 save percentage. Spencer Knight, 4-2-1, 2.11 goals against, and 9.30 save percentage. Sometimes you look at the way teams are playing, you look at the goalie matchup, and like to me, this has got underwritten all over it. For the most part, Chicago's been involved in lower scoring games this year, and it's Connor Hellebuck in net for Winnipeg. This one is a one I do see kind of like a 3-1 final.
Yeah. That's what I took. I took the under 5.5 here just because of what you mentioned. Spencer Knight in net. You got Connor Hellebuck in net as well. The Jets are home, so I see them having a great game here and the offense being limited for both teams, even though Connor Bedard had his first hat trick of his career the other night. I think that the offense for both teams are going to be very, very slow to start, and it'll probably be 2-1, 3-1 game, or even worse, it'll be like a 6-7 type affair.
So yes, they did just put it 7 on Ottawa, and yes, they had 8 on St. Louis, but we've talked about how we feel about Ottawa being inconsistent. St. Louis, we're going to get to in a second here. Those are the only 2 teams they've really put up a ton of goals against here. You look at the rest of the way: 1 against the Kings, 3 against the Lightning, 2 against the Ducks, 2 against the Canucks, 3 against Utah, 2 against. So everything points towards the under here with the way the Blackhawks are, and the Jets are just a low-scoring team in general. So yeah, I'll take the under 5.5 here, which you can get for plus 110 over at DraftKings right now. If you're looking to do it elsewhere, Let's see here. That's probably the ESPN bet. Those are going to be the best two. If you wanted to go up to 6 at some spots, you get it at -115. So there you go. Chris.
I'm just going to say this once. I said on the playbook today as I put together the fantasy alarm. I'm just going to say it once. The Jets are mid.
Wow.
We're just going to say that the record is good, but the play does not support it. So the Jets cannot drive offense. They can't do it. At 5-on-5, they cannot drive offense. Without Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele, that team is just, it's not working. Scheifele is shooting 30% this year. 30. That is ridiculous. Connor Hellebuck is putting together his goal saved above expected through the roof. So it's not surprising to see Connor Hellebuck be elite. It is surprising to see, though, his goal saved above expected to be that high, because it means that he's having to do more. He is making an impact. He's going above and beyond what he needs to do. Spencer Knight is also having a great. He is ahead of Connor Hellebuck, but I would understand why, because Spencer Knight has to be out of his mind to give his team even a sniff of an opportunity. The Blackhawks have also been decent on the road, which is something we could not say last year. We couldn't. We looked at the Blackhawks. They were on the road. We pound whoever's playing against them. Now the sports books have basically given that, like, the Jets are like -220 or something. Like this should be closer, but it's not because of the teams that are named. So I will go the other way because the value is there. I'm not saying they win, but they will keep it close enough. So I'm going to take the Blackhawks money line straight up.
This might be a fun game, considering what we could get from the Blackhawks. Like, the Blackhawks could probably make this a fun game.
They'll keep it close. Like, they're not getting throttled 6-1. And now that I say it, they are. But before that, they're not. So if it's close, maybe they squeak it out in overtime. I don't know. Because, again, the Jets do not drive the play. So you can get the Blackhawks at what? Plus 190, 95 certain places. If you can find plus 200, even better. But
plus 190 is the best I saw. Would you consider, maybe go plus a puck and a half at -135 in some places?
You could. If you don't want to live life like I do, which I suggest you don't, you should probably take the Blackhawks puck line. But I think the Blackhawks, the value, to me, this is purely on value. This line should be, it shouldn't be this wide. So there's value on the Blackhawks side. There's enough of it that if it does hit, then I'll get paid for it.
There you go. I like it. That's a good spot to maybe go out on a limb and take a shot there, especially because, like you said, it's up to plus 190 in a lot of spots. Yeah. That's not nothing. Now, the last game of the 8 o'clock window on the Eastern, or 8 o'clock puck drops, I should say, Canucks at Blues. And when I looked at this one initially, I'm like, I got no play. I don't trust Vancouver. I don't love and the Blues have just been atrocious, but the Blues have been really, really bad, to the point where I was like, for the same reason you kind of just took the Blackhawks on the money line, it's a good spot to plus 130 for Vancouver on the road. Somehow St. Louis is a -155 on the money line. St. Louis is on a 5-game losing streak, have lost 6 of their last 7, have not really been close in any of the games except for the Kings game. Get blown out by the Blackhawks. They start the season 5-0 loss to the Wild. There's nothing really positive going on there. I've moved on from Cam Fowler as my 4th defenseman or 3rd defenseman in some leagues, because I think he's got 1 assist on the season. Nothing's going right in St. Louis right now, and not that I love the Canucks, but they are a scrappy team, and they do play tough, and they've been competitive, and they've been a lot. I'll take a shot on them in the money line at plus 130 here, just because it's a complete fade of the Blues.
Scrappy team because they got rid of JT Miller, the problem out there in Vancouver. It feels like Elias Patterson playing a whole lot better because of that. I could not take anything in this game. I don't know.
That's the exact look. That's just clip it right there. Yeah, that's what every Blues fan, I'm assuming, feels. I also have no play here. Quinn Hughes is not going to play. Connor Garland is not playing. Even at that, -150 for the Blues is just that is believing the Canucks are like AHL quality team right there, and they're not. But I can't trust the Canucks. They can't score. They cannot They cannot generate offense. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. Elias Pettersson is blocking shots. The wrong Elias Pettersson, not Elias. Elias Pettersson can I think the defenseman Pettersson can block as many shots as he wants. Both of them. But the forward, the one that they gave the 11 million bag to, I don't want you blocking shots. I want you filling the net.
Yeah, you should be blocking shots by accident at that point.
Exactly.
That you're doing
The same way I do. You get in the way of your own teammate shots, and you're like, why did I do that? That's the only way you do it. But I don't want anything to do with this. And the Blues are terrible.
Right.
No, I was just going to say the Blues are terrible. Not that Eddie, like, we know this, but Logan Mailloux is just having an absolute terrible start in St. Louis defensively. And Blues fans are like, what is happening? And I'm like, well, that's kind of how this goes defensively. It's a work in progress there. Also, the Montgomery, I guess the honeymoon's over now. Like, are we, like, I don't know what we're going to do here, but if I'm a Blues fan, I am very concerned. And Blues, no Robert Thomas either. So I could care less.
Or Jake Neighbors.
No Jake Neighbors. Just everybody's out, including
Robert
me.
Thomas is out.
Robert Thomas. I'm out too. I would not suit up for them.
Pavel Buchnevich for the rescue.
And that's everything we're saying here. Again, this is not a pick for me that has a ton of faith in the Canucks. It's just everything is going wrong for St. Louis right now. Let's take that's to me, that's a good place to maybe take a stab. So we got 3 games to go here. We are now in the 9:00 Eastern puck drop window. Only one of these, Rangers at Oilers. Looking at the goaltending matchup here for tonight. You're looking at Igor Shesterkin versus Stuart Skinner. Got to mention the goalies in Canucks Blues. That's Lankinen and Binnington, by the way. So maybe I don't love the pick as much with Lankinen in there, but I still will take my chance. Shesterkin versus Skinner. If you're looking to play either side on the money line, Canucks -162 home favorites, Rangers +136 on the road. Totals 5.5 here. I've got no play on this one, but I would, if I'm going to have a lean, it would probably be under. The Rangers haven't really been great at scoring. Maybe they can, Shesterkin gets his groove back a little bit here. So maybe the Rangers still lose. I just don't necessarily see this being a high scoring game, but no play for me here.
See, if it was over 6.5, I would agreed. But since it's just over 5.5, I am going to take the over there. I know the last time these two teams met, it was 2-0 for Edmonton. That was like one of the first games that the Rangers could just not score in Madison Square Garden. But they're on the road this time. They score a little bit better on the road. You never know what you're going to get when you play against Edmonton's offense. So I will take the over 5.5. Maybe it's a 4-3 type affair.
I can't trust the Rangers offensively. I just can't do it. Nobody can. I don't think the Rangers can trust themselves. So yes, they score more on the road, but I mean, a number that's a little bit higher than 0 at home is pretty easy to beat. I also can't trust Stuart Skinner. Like, it's just, I know it's not that bad, but it's not where it needs to be. The Oilers are also not dominating. Like, if it wasn't for their power play clipping, as it usually does, this team would really be struggling offensively. And McDavid doesn't score goals anymore. He's like, nah, thanks. I'm done with that. So I just want nothing to do with this game.
Rangers on the 3rd of a 4-game road trip out to Pacific Northwest. They finish up with the Kraken on Saturday before coming home to play the Hurricanes on Tuesday. So there you go. So just a great stretch of games for the Rangers there, though it gets a tiny bit easier after that. Detroit, Islanders, Nashville, Tampa, Columbus, Detroit, but then before having to head back out west to play Vegas, Colorado, Utah. So just a chance for the Rangers to maybe get a little bit right here, but going to be a bumpy month for them nonetheless. So that is the only game dropping the puck at the 9:00 hour Eastern. We head to the 10:00 hour for the San Jose Sharks down in the South Bay hosting the Ants, New Jersey Devils there. Goaltending matchup for tonight. It's going to be Alex Nedeljkovic for the Sharks. No surprise there. Askarov not been playing well for the Sharks as of late. Jake Allen going for Devils. Jake Allen here has got a 5-0-0 record, a 1.93 goals against, and a 9.23 save percentage. If you're looking for Nedeljkovic's stats, 1-2-1, 3.98, and an 8.74. So, if the foreshadowing will probably tell you one of the ways I'm going to go on this game. Money line here, Sharks at home +170, Devils -205 money line on the road. Total 6.5. Devils puck line plus 110. This is the other one. Besides the Penguins Wild over 6.5, this is the other one I think for sure. The Devils, listen, I know they had a rough time in Colorado tonight. That was a wild game, being down 4-0, then coming back and all that. That was the Avalanche. Now they're playing the Sharks. They're going to bounce back. I think they're going to bounce back big. You could look at the over here too. There's nobody. The Devils may hit the over on their own, potentially. It could be that kind of night. But the Sharks' offense has been getting going, so maybe they get 1 or 2 behind Jake Allen. I think the Devils take care of the rest to maybe get you that over, but definitely the puck line.
I might have to switch. I had the under.
Okay.
But I might have to switch now, knowing who's in net. The last time these two teams faced each other, it was a 3-1 affair, but Askarov was in net. So this is a different, this is a different goalie they're going up against here. Thankfully, Jake Allen, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jake Allen has been the best goaltender on this team. So Markstrom coming back, giving up 8 goals. I know last time we talked about the Devils, they had stopped, I think it was 21 of 24 power plays on the penalty kill, and they pretty much got destroyed, embarrassed by Colorado when it came to the penalty kill. I think that they bounced back, like you said here. I will take the over now. I have switched to taking the over 6.5, mostly because I think the Devils are going to bounce back offensively. They really didn't. They scored 5 goals. They made it a 1-goal game in Colorado, surprisingly enough, after kind of being destroyed most of the game. So I think that they'll score their goals here, but also San Jose with Celebrini and Smith. I mean, they're a threat to score some goals here, and I know our Devils goalies can give up some easy goals at some point. So I'll take the over here. I'm switching my numbers to over.
Jakub Dobes is 6-0. Jake Allen is 5-0. The only person on this panel without a goalie that is undefeated. Right. I won't say any names, but it's Adam. Listen, the Devils getting absolutely smacked in Colorado with Jake, like Markstrom was thrown to the wolves there. That was certainly a choice to say, hey, welcome to altitude. This should go well. And like you said, they still made it a game. I also have the Devils puck line. I can't believe we can get this at plus money still. The Sharks are bad. And their 2 wins that they have, they still needed to score 6 goals. And those were in overtime. So they have no regulation wins. They can't defend. It truly does not matter. I think John Klingberg is back, and that might actually make them worse. If he plays more, that'll make them worse defensively. That's saying a lot about their blue line. I don't know what Michael Misa has done because he was on an absolute mini tear here. He is out of the lineup. I guess, being 18, living by the beach, man, load management for kids now. I don't know. He should be in that lineup, but he's not. So this just seems like a good spot for the Devils to just smack them around. Just go out there. I know sometimes it's hard to get up for these games, but considering the embarrassment that was in Colorado, I think that Sheldon Keefe and the boys are going to be like, hey, let's try to get the ship back. Let's try to, get back on track here. Let's get back to what we were doing. Go out here. Let's completely obliterate an inferior opponent. I'll take the puck line.
All right. So got 2 puck lines and an over in this one. And then the last game of the night, Red Wings at Kings, the nightcap, 10:30 puck drop out of Crypto.com Arena. As mentioned earlier, it's going to be Cam Talbot versus Darcy Kemper tonight. I initially had no play on this game, but you mentioned the Red Wings power play earlier, and the Kings penalty kill is pretty bad at 76%. So part of me wants to take a stab here on, the Red Wings money line on the road, which you could get here on DraftKings or went away on me. Of course, it does that every time. About to talk about it. There we go. Plus 124. Kings minus 148 at home. It's a late ad. It's not my most confident of ads, but if Detroit can only score on the power play, the Kings are just not a great penalty kill team, which is surprising to say right now, but it's the truth. I'll take a plus 124 Red Wings money line bet.
I'm staying away from this game. I really don't like either of these two teams. Like I don't have any interest in this game at all. I don't know. They don't do anything for me. I think they're just middle of the pack. I can't feel anything either way.
That makes sense. Maybe this is the Cam Talbot revenge game in some way, but I don't want to sign up for that because it's not how I want to fall asleep. So I also have no play on this game. I don't know. I can't trust the Red Wings because they're only good on the power play. Maybe the Kings stay disciplined. Maybe they take only 1 or 2 penalties and the Red Wings don't capitalize. And I have to trust Darcy Kemper as well. I don't want to do that. Not this year. So I just don't want anything to do with them.
One thing going in the Kings' favor is that, I mean, they've beaten a mix of teams. Maybe, and the other thing too is they're coming back home from a 5-game road trip here. They won the 4 out of 5, so probably feeling good. I don't know, just something about the Red Wings tonight. Maybe the Kings come out a little bit slow at home. I don't know. Maybe they got the Devils, eyeballing that game on Saturday. But yeah, I'll take a chance here with the Red Wings power play. But get me a money line victory. Doesn't have to be regulation. Doesn't matter if it's a shootout, just to get the win. Sure, why not? I've got the 10:30 Pacific game tonight, so at least I'll have something to check while I'm killing time at the rink, so I don't fall asleep waiting for the 10:30 puck drop. So there we go. Red Wings at Kings wraps us up for another Thursday here on Total Hockey Now. Here, it's what we do. First half hour or so is fantasy and headlines, then we run the board and give our picks for tonight. Which, thanks for me taking the Red Wings money line, we could say only one game we did not give any plays for.
That is true. The Predators and who was the other meaningless?
Predators, Flyers.
Predators, Flyers. That's the other meaningless team I forgot about.
If you do care, 7 o'clock puck drop. That is the one orphan here from the pickless game.
If you're watching that game at 7 o'clock, just explain why. Just send.
If you're not a Predators or Flyers fan, that's the reasonable. If you're a fan of those teams, watch that. You always watch your team. I'm still watching the New York Jets at least a little bit on Sunday.
That sounds terrible.
And I'm still, the Rangers. I'm not, it's too early to bail on them. I'm watching the Sharks. I've got a lot of losing.
You're collecting L's over there.
Yeah. Let's see. First up, let's talk about the Slapshot podcast. What do we got coming up what do we have on the most recent edition?
We talked a little bit about Dobez and Montembeault. That's basically it. I tell you exactly why it's not going to be a takeover just yet. There you go.
Craig Cody should listen in then.
I go in through it in detail. We break it down. There's lots of good numbers there. There's like 3% science as well, 97% gut, but also 100%, coaching as well behind it. So if you care about that, then you can hear my 100% correct opinion.
And Subway to Shea podcast in hiatus, but this does get a nice segue into the World Series here. Chris's Blue Jays coming back to Toronto with a 3-2 series lead. How do we see the rest of that series going? My very limited baseball knowledge and opinion, I feel like the Dodgers win a heartbreaker in Game 6, and then they just completely take care of business in Game 7. That's what I think here. You can't count the Dodgers out, although I would like to see Toronto win it. But I don't think the Dodgers are dead yet.
Listen, Trey Ya Savage is Trey Ya Nasty. That kid barely made any money this year. I don't know where he's sleeping because he cannot afford to live in downtown Toronto. I can tell you that. But listen, it's all about clutch there, right? I wore the Expos hat just so we don't get confused. I would like to see though the trophy come north of the border to the one Canadian baseball team for now. So it'd be kind of nice.
See how it goes. Game 6 is Friday on Halloween, 7 Saturday. What are your thoughts, Ant?
I think the Blue Jays wins this.
My man.
I think it's going to be in 6 because unless the Dodgers deploy Yamamoto to pitch another 9-inning game, their pitching staff has just not been good throughout the whole postseason. I know they made it to the World Series, but they just have finally met their match in a team that's just going to pick them apart, and that's what the Blue Jays have done. So I think that they finish this off in 6, and really ride that momentum there. And then once that ends, Sunday, 10 a.m., Subway to Shea returns. We got the hot stove kicking off. Let's go.
There we go. So that's
We're back.
Baseball season ends on Saturday. Off-season coverage at Subway to Shea. Picture right up on Sunday. Not even 24 hours from last pitch.
No. You saw me limp to the finish line in exhaustion. The energy's back, baby. The energy is back for at least the next 2 months before the season begins again.
You need to distract yourself from all those terrible waiver wire picks up. So he's like, you know what? Let's shift the focus here instead.
Yep.
Good to have you back, Ant. Good to have the Subway to Shea podcast back and not a burnt out version because of the way the Mets season ended there. And totally understandable. That was a bad. Yeah, we'll see how next year goes. And then finally at Rip and Riff on YouTube and X, myself and at Mr. Jared Moore, we come at you on Mondays recapping the NFL and looking ahead, talking hockey, talking a little bit of baseball, but mostly football and hockey. That's what we like to do. And what the cards we like to open on the show. I talk about why the Jets got their first victory of the year. Now let's not go crazy and win too many more. Let's try and have a good draft pick here. Let's not do something stupid. Beat teams like the Saints and the Dolphins. And every day you can find my NHL picks, not on Thursdays because I give them to you here, but most other days, Tuesdays, Saturdays, and then if I feel something on those other lighter days, wizardsportspicks.com. That does it for this edition.
Before we close out, I apologize. Before you close out here, because you mentioned the Blue Jays and Trey Savage, 2024 draft, he got drafted by the Blue Jays at number 20. Who went before him? The New York Mets at number 19. They took Carson Bench. So, Toronto, you're welcome.
It's not like your Savage would help the pitching staff or anything.
Just more pain for it.
Yep.
Just more pain.
On that note, get out of here. So Ant can go cry in a corner and right before it's about dinner time out there. So, Ant, you coming down for dinner? For at Fuzzy Chris 91 and at Ant Rivera 86, I'm at Pucking Throats Adam Bernard with you next Thursday. All new episode of Total Hockey Now, running the board, going through all those picks, and we'll talk about some of those ice cold teams out of the gate in the first month of the season. Thanks for watching, everybody.